blah blah, and I'm Stevie Wonder's manager. And I went, yeah, right. He was gonna call me at 10 o'clock in the morning saying he's Stevie Wonder. And he said, seriously, Stevie opened at the Talk of the Town last night, which I knew, and I was going, and he said he sang his latest song, and it didn't sound right to him because he didn't have the backing singers, and we wondered if you could get another singer to come and do the backing vocals. And I said, yeah. So he said, 2 o'clock at the Royal Garden Hotel, blah, 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 blah. So I rang P.P. Arnold. I said, girl, are you ready for this? And she went, yeah, honey. So the two of us met up and went to the up to the Royal Garden Hotel, went up to Stevie's suite, and the suite was huge, and there were keyboards all the way around the room. He knew exactly where each one was and which one did what. And he said, this is what I want you to sing. And the other singer was his future wife, Cyrita Wright.
Oh,
yeah. And she co-wrote this song, and the song was, here I am, baby, signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours, yeah. That's all we had to sing for 2 weeks. And they paid us, and that was the last song of the set. And they paid us as well, and we were willing to pay them. Because I was Stevie. But I had 2 weeks with Stevie Wonder. And he had just dropped the little Stevie Wonder as well. He was like over 6 feet tall by this time, and he was really slim. He's not slim anymore. And I've seen him a couple of times since then in Stringfellows and in Jakarta and Rotterdam. I've seen him so many times, and he's still the same. And as soon as I walk in the room, he goes, hey, baby, long time no see. Are we gonna do this? Yeah, please. I forgot we were doing this. If it's magic, then why can't it be everlasting? Like the sun that always shines, like a poet's endless rhyme, like the galaxies in time. If it's pleasing, then why can't it be never leaving? Like the day that never fades, like on seashores there are shells, like the time that always tells. It holds the key to every heart throughout the universe. It fills you up without a bite and quenches every thirst. So if it's special, then with it, why aren't we as careful as making sure we dress in style, posing pictures with a smile, keeping danger from a child? It holds the key to every heart throughout the universe, and it fills you up without a bite and quenches every thirst. So if it's magic, why can't we make it everlasting? Like the lifetime of the sun, it will leave no heart undone. Well, there's enough for everyone. Oh, 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 love.
We did a radio.
Yeah, we did.
I played Billy Strayhorn.
I
Good job it was radio.
I was listening to that.
You sang on it?
Yeah, I was listening to that 2 weeks ago. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we did.
You sang Little Brown Book?
Yeah.
And I sang, I used to visit all the very gates. You know, I did that at Ronnie Scott's, the first time I ever did it. I went, I used to visit all the very gay places. And Ronnie walked past and went, I bet you did, my son.
Oh, it was just Ronnie Scott's birthday last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have been 95. Yeah, he was born the same year as my mom.
Oh, yeah.
So that lets you know how old I am now, right? I'm not ashamed of it. I will be 80 years old in July. Hello. I made it. Well, almost. And the great thing about the lockdown was that I decided, since it's a lockdown and we're not allowed to go out anywhere, I decided I'm not going to color my hair anymore. Just forget about it. At my age, I should be gray. I shouldn't be walking around with jet black hair. Hello. So anyone who's not used to seeing me, this is no more false hair. This is me, okay? Mr. Saturday Dance. Heard they crowded the floor. I couldn't bear it without you. Don't get around much anymore. But I just hit the club.
I got as far as the door. All you ever ask me about you. I don't get around much no more.
But darling, I guess my mind's more at ease. But nevertheless, why stir up memories?
Being invited on dates. I might have gone, but what for? What for? It's awfully different without you. Don't get around no more.
I let a song go out of my heart. It was the sweetest melody. I know I lost music, 'cause you were the song.
Since you and I drifted apart, love doesn't mean a thing to me. Please come back, sweet music. I know I was wrong,
But darling, I
guess it's too late.
my mind's not at ease. But nevertheless, why stir up memories?
I've been invited on dates.
What?
I've been invited on
You've been
dates.
there?
I have been there.
Awfully different without me. Don't get around much. I mean, don't get around.
I won't get
Without me, I don't know.
without you.
Don't get around no more. No, 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 no.
We've done this so many times, and it's a very clever thing where one person sings a song and continues to sing the song again, and then the other person does something completely different. But the one person that didn't continue singing the same song again was her. I sang in Welsh.
Can I just talk about? Most people don't know. I've been selling products to you since the '60s as well. I can't do them in sort of chronological order, but there was things like no pith, no peel, no pits, no powder, just juice. Dun, dun. No oil, no acid, no preservative, just juice. Dun, dun. No salt, no sugar, no corn, no coloring, glucose, sucrose, and no dextrine. That's one. To all beef patties, I said Big Mac patties. Special sauce, lettuce, golden cheese. Chicken or ham don't take long. Garlic sausage and T-tongue. That was from Mattison's turkey. The gas people are your people. From platforms out at sea, wonder fuel gas. That, thank you, Ronnie Bond, bless his heart. We just lost him. Yeah, all of these are mostly commercials with one particular person. And there's some more singers over there who we've all worked for Ronnie Bond, and Ronnie Bond paid our mortgages, didn't he? Yeah, it kept us going for a long time. Yes?
Ronnie died last week.
I know. Yeah. And he's one of those people, one of those unsung heroes, you know. He did so many commercials. We sold so many products to you, and you didn't even know it. Seriously. And Ronnie's, for me, my favorite was his, I'll do it, all do it, what they do so well. Won't somebody tell? If only we knew it, I'll do it, all do it. We be doing it as well. Yeah, we had a lovely time, and he was a lovely, lovely person. I just wanted to get that in. I wanted to mention his name. Sorry.
I wanted to ask you about the session scene when, for example, you went in with Joe Cocker and took a song that became an iconic sound. It became the sound of the decade. Really.
Yeah.
It was, the what would you do? So it slowed the whole thing down, and you created that.
Yeah.
Did you just do that on the spot?
Yeah, we were booked for a session. We didn't know who the session was for. I mean, we didn't, because nobody knew who Joe Cocker was at the time. And we arrived at the studio, and he was like really nervous and everything. And he said, "This is what we're doing. Can you come up with some backing vocals for it?" So it was me, Sonny from Sue and Sonny, and Rosetta Hightower, and the three of us worked out. "Bow a little help from my friends. Do you need anybody?" That's all us. We did all of that, and we never got any credit for it. But that's show business. The record producer took the credit for it. But I mean, there's loads of that. We did. I did "Power to the People" with John Lennon, which was another whole story. Elton John, we did his first album, the second album with the black cover. That's, you can hear me above a 30-voice choir. I'm so loud. I mean, seriously. Rolling Stones, I did "You Can't Always Get What You Want," and I'm playing tambourine on that. And my favorite session was Billy Preston, produced by George Harrison, who's a lovely guy. And the band was Klaus Borman on bass, Eric Clapton on guitar, and Ginger Baker on drums. Whoa. And Billy Preston on Hammond organ and keyboard. And the backing vocals were me, Billy, and Doris Troy. That's the way God planned it. That's the way God wants it to be. That's the way God planned it. That's the way God wants it to be. Hey.
Whoa!
Yeah, we did a couple of tracks on that. I mean, we did so many sessions. I mean, at some points we were doing 3 sessions a day, 7 days a week. I mean, it was that busy. The studios were that busy in the 70s. I mean, and they recorded everything at one time. They didn't sort of do just a keyboard and then this and then. Everything. The singers would be in that corner, the drummer would be over there, the strings would be way over there, and everything was recorded at the same time. And we'd do 3 sessions. We'd see some of the same musicians all day. We'd be booked on different sessions. And we loved it. It was just, we were young and you know, it didn't matter. Huh? It'd
be remiss of any of us not to ask you about your profound friendship with the brilliant Dusty Springfield. I mean, that was such a great story how you met, wasn't it?
I wouldn't be sitting here right now if it wasn't for Mary Isabel Bernadette Catherine O'Brien, otherwise known as Dusty Springfield. I met her at Ready Steady Go's New Year's Eve party, 1964, and she came over to me and said, "I heard about you, do you do sessions?" And I didn't know what a session was, so I said, "Yeah." I needed the money. I knew who she was, and I needed the money, and I explained last night, and I have to explain again. I had just been for a job, and I'd been offered a job at the International Cinema in Westbourne Grove. 6 days a week, 11 hours a day, and it was a guinea a day. Wow. 6 guineas a week. Right? £1, 1 shilling, if you know what a shilling is. Then I get a call the same day, "Can I do a session for Dusty?" Turned up the next day for the session, and they paid us, and the fee for 3 hours was 6 guineas.
Wow.
I thought, okay, now I know what I'm going to be doing. Yeah, 6 guineas is 6 guineas, but you know, I mean, can you imagine 66 hours a week?
Yeah.
Oh, anyway,
No contact.
But Dusty made she gave me so much work. Me, Leslie Duncan, who was another wonderful person, and Kay Gone, and there were loads of singers in the Breakaways and the Ladybirds, and there was so many backing vocalists and everything. But she gave us this job to do our backing vocals at the Talk of the Town. We did that as well, and her TV series. All of her TV series. And you would see, Dusty, if you ever saw her looking to her left, she was looking at us for signals, because we used to have to give her signals, because, was it you asked me? She was really short-sighted. She couldn't see any further than that, but nobody knew that. Literally, she could not, if you stood further than that away, she couldn't tell who you were. She was so short-sighted. But we would do like big, you know, like, ain't no mountain. So she would know where to come in. Yeah, bless her heart, yeah.
We can open this up to the floor now, because I know that some of you are burning to ask Maddie some questions.
Please ask
Go
me.
I
ahead.
have a question.
Yeah.
Yes, madam.
You were talking earlier about your time in Holland and how much work you've had from the Dutch people over there. But I know that you actually did a musical over there that I don't know if people over here are aware of, with a very famous musician from here called Georgie Fame.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Could you tell us a bit about you and Georgie?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, baby. We're reading it. With the day we could be a commander. I said, yeah. That's what you said. I said, yeah. I got a call. This was about 1982 from Georgie. We call him Clive. I got a call from Clive, and he said, Steve Gray and I have been asked to write a piece for Dutch radio. And we want to write this story. Can we hang this? It's not your story, but can we use you as a mannequin so that we can hang the story on? So we got somebody to look at. And I said, yeah. And they said, also, will you come and sing the lead female vocal? Yeah. Okay. And we went into the studio in Hilversum in Holland and recorded this masterpiece.
Yeah.
The arrangement, you got it, yeah? The arrangement, all the orchestral arrangements were by Steve Gray. And you wouldn't know, Steve Gray was one of the most wonderful arrangers in this country. You wouldn't know that.
And it's called?
It's called Singer.
Yeah.
Right?
It's magnificent.
It's never been heard over here.
Yeah.
It's so famous in Holland. Even the original musicians who are still alive still talk about this musical.
Yeah.
And it's young and gay, fancy, free. Now she says she wants to be a singer. Ba-da-da. That's the story. There's a whole long story, and it's never been heard over here, which is such a shame. We've done Friday night as music night so many times, and I have given them cassettes when cassettes were being used, and then CDs when CDs are used, and they never ever used us. And both Georgie and Ian and I, we've all done a few Friday night as music night, and this would be perfect. We got the full orchestral arrangement, the original arrangement by Steve Gray, and they won't use it.
So if anybody's listening,
yeah,
You need to write to somebody called Anthony Cherry. He'll respond to you. He's lovely.
Now the thing is, he's the one I gave them to. I gave all the tapes and cassettes to Anthony Cherry, but nothing ever happened. But anyway, if you can actually, I think, still buy the CD on the internet, and it's just called Singer, and the music is just absolutely, and Georgie Fame wrote all the lyrics. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful. So, and I'm great.
Yeah, I second that.
Anybody else like to
Yes,
ask
Ian,
Madeline?
please. I've got
Yeah.
Madeline,
Yeah.
talking about that song, a few years ago they opened Jimmy's flat on Brook Street. Yeah. I'm standing outside, a black cab turns up, and you and Kathy Etchinger get out. And I said to you, my favourite song of yours is Be True to Yourself.
Oh,
She's
from
Singer.
Singer.
From
And
Singer,
he
yeah.
started singing it.
Yeah.
So I'm stood on Brook Street with Kathy Etchingham, Madeline Bell, singing my favourite Madeline Bell song.
I have to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that Kathy Etchingham is the real partner, or was the real partner of Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
And I shared a flat with Kathy when Jimmy went off on tour, and my boyfriend at the time was his tour manager. Anyway, Kathy and I are still friends, and she's in Australia, in Melbourne, and I spent Christmas with her and her husband, and they've been down to Spain as well. But there's a guitar in the Jimi Hendrix house.
That's right, yeah.
Kathy came to me in 1970, possibly, 69, and said, I need some money, can you loan me 75 quid? And she gave me this guitar. It was one of Jimmy's guitars, acoustic. I kept it for 4 or 5 years, and I went to move the chair once, and I pulled the chair away, and it had been cracked. It had been sitting behind this chair. So I gave it to Alan Parker, the guitar, who was the Blue Mink guitarist.
Yeah.
And Alan Parker had it rebuilt and insured and kept it, and eventually he had to sell it. And because the tax man was coming after him, and it sold for 55 grand at Sotheby's in I think it's Sotheby's in Lots Road.
Yeah.
And Kathy came over for that, and she had the authorization. She had the photograph of Jimmy holding this particular guitar and everything. Anyway, we found out later that I don't know which one, but one of Pink Floyd bought it. And he donated it or loaned it to the Jimi Hendrix house, so it's still sitting in Jimi. That used to be in my house. And I had a carpet of his, and I had a Jimi Hendrix coat hanger from Carnaby Street. I had all this stuff, and in those days you didn't keep anything. I had Elton John watches with the eyes and everything, the original Apple Watch and all of that stuff. We just sort of threw away. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
You met Barry, your husband, at the Bag of Nails.
Yeah, my husband was he was the drummer for a band called the Checkmates first in the early 60s. Then he went on over to Germany, and he gigged with the Beatles before anybody knew who the Beatles were. And him and George Harrison were always mistaken for each other because they looked that much alike. Anyway, he came back over to the UK, and he was working in a club called the Bag of Nails.
Yeah.
See, you gotta be old to know what I'm talking about now, right? You know what I'm talking about, the Bag of Nails. And he was on the drum kit one night, and this guy came over and said, "Can I have a blow?" And they said, "Yeah." And he said, "What you want?" And he said, "A guitar." And he took the guitar like that and turned it around and played it that way. That was Jimi Hendrix. Nobody knew who he was. And my husband was on drums. Anyway, so my husband became the first drummer to play for Jimi Hendrix. Also, he was the drummer with James Last. He was the drummer with James Last for 10 years. So, and he was the most beautiful guy as a person.
Yeah.
Anyone who knew Barry say,
Yeah.
So, anyway, I don't have him anymore. Just in my heart.
I was very privileged to spend a lot of time with Barry.
He even went to the hospital and spent time with him at the hospital as well.
Beautiful man, beautiful man. The James Last tour.
Yeah.
I mean, you can watch some footage on YouTube with the most extraordinary singers. Sometimes 4, 5, 6 singers all getting solos. Was that just fun? That whole experience.
It was enjoyable because in the early days of James Last, he had the best musicians, the best dressed musicians, and the best paid musicians. I mean, when I joined, the musicians were in when did I join? In 79. The musicians were making something like 800 marks a night each. 800 marks was like 400 or 500 quid.
Wow.
A night.
Wow.
With James Last. That's why they stayed with him for 30 years.
Yeah.
You know, James Last put a lot of kids through college and everything.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Clues in his name, really, isn't it?
Yeah, Last.
James Last, he lost his name. Anyone like to ask a question?
Anyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about how the New London Chorale started.
New London Chorale.
Can you tell us a bit about
See, I don't even know if anybody over here knows it. I can't get to you now because this is It's not long enough. The New London Chorale was Tom Parker was his name, and he booked myself and Vicki Brown, who's the wife of Joe Brown, and the mother of Sam Brown, and one of the best singers in this country. We've lost her as well. She was a breakaway as well, and we were booked as a session to do this classical stuff. I'd never sung classical stuff, and so me and Vicki went in and did it, and it was the Young Messiah. 6 years later, we get a call from Tom Parker saying, it's really popular in Holland. Will you come over to Holland and do it? And it's still, I had 22 dates canceled because of the lockdown of the New London Chorale, because they were celebrating, I don't know whether it was 30 years, 40 years or something like that. Wow. But it was just, it was another one of those fluke, it was an accident. It's like blooming, because I was a session singer, that's how I got that gig. Same thing with it all came from sessions. Yeah. I was just booked to do it and still doing it, and I'm singing all this classical stuff now, which is wonderful. You know, Young Messiah, Young Verdi, Young Amadeus. We did all of that stuff, and it's still really popular in the Netherlands.
You've always cherished great musicians, and your band is the. Tell them.
My band is. How many people watch Strictly? Yeah. Strictly. That's my band. The rhythm section. Dave Arch is my keyboard player. Trevor Barry on bass in the black leather hat. He's my musical director. Tommy Blaze, the voice of Strictly, is in my band. All this. The BBC took my band, and I'm sorry. And what annoys me is that they don't get the credit that they should get. Without the musicians, there is no show.
That is a book. The BBC took my band.
It really annoys me. All you see, I mean, Bruce Forsyth used to give them as much credit as he possibly could, because he used to work with them doing private shows and everything, and he knew as well that they weren't getting the credit that they should get. The judges get a name check with every vote. Every time they get a name check, the band doesn't get anything, and I think that's so unfair, and I can say that now. I don't know the BBC, nothing. I was a DJ. I was a DJ for the BBC because Noel Edmonds walked out, and they asked me to do 4 weeks, and it eventually became 13 weeks. And later on, the BBC said, bless her, that Anne Nightingale was the first female DJ they ever had. No, she wasn't. I was. But they never gave me any credit. Seriously, I mean, I've had a couple of bumps. The BBC banned Melting Pot.
Yeah.
They were the ones who helped to launch Melting Pot, thanks to Tony Blackburn. They're so hypocritical. Oh, don't get me started. I try to be nice all the time, but there's some things that really make my blood boil.
I like it when you get started.
Oh, yeah.
You've got some wonderful new music tonight, which is kind of old recorded music, but made available by a wonderful human being that we love.
This CD is me with John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
He's my little brother. He did all the music. I wrote all the lyrics. We did this in, I think it was about 1972. Nothing ever happened to it, but I've always loved this album. And my friend, him, he had these printed up for me.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you now, if you want to hear some good stuff.
It's so good. You signed. That's the one you signed for me on May 18th.
Yeah. Look at me. I've got no clothes on. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, in my Bill Gibb robe, my dress. Yeah.
And you sing some Billie Holiday. There's a Billie Holiday one as well, isn't there?
Yeah. There's a Billie Holiday album which he did, and this is me with my Spanish band, and I'm singing a couple of songs in Spanish on that one.
David Lenker.
David Lenker. Yeah.
Did you sing me a Billie Holiday song?
Yeah. Of course, I never met Billie Holiday, but I grew up listening to Billie Holiday because she was my grandmother's favorite. So, and that was the only sort of, what they call secular, the only non-gospel music that was allowed in the house.
Thank you, sir.
Carry on, sir. Is somebody gonna come tell us when we've been running our mouths too long?
It's up to you.
Midnight.
Midnight. Okay. Them that's got shall get, and them that's not shall lose. So the Bible says, and it still is new. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own. That's got his own. So the strong get more while the weak ones fade. Empty pockets don't ever make the grave. Mama may have, and Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own. That's got his own. With money you have lots of friends crowding round your door. But when your money's gone and your spending is, you don't see around anymore. Now, rich relations they give across the bread and such. You can help yourself, but don't take too much. Mama may have, and your papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own. That's got his own. With money you have lots of friends, they come crowding round your door. But when your money's gone and your spending ends, you won't see them round anymore. Rich relations they give across the bread and such. You can help yourself, don't you take too much. Mama may have, and your papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own. God bless the child that's got his own. God bless the child. Well, I've got my own. Yeah. nobody crying.
Said before we met, your life was getting tame. I took you down the pizza and the whole crowd knew your name. Many, many, many. I got news for you. Well, your stories don't wait true. I got news for you. When you phoned me, you were late. You took the wrong express. You walked in smiling with lipstick on your dress. I said, Malcolm, I got news for you. I need stirring of interest. I got news for you. Oh, yeah.
I think I'll pick up my suitcase and move it on down the line. I'm gonna pick up my suitcase and move it on down the line. Because there ain't nobody worrying and ain't nobody crying. But that's why it seems to me that every day I have the blues. Every day I have the blues. 'Cause when you see me worry, baby, you are hate to look. When you see me worry, baby, you are hate to look. Yeah, I hate the blues away.
Ladies and gentlemen, Madeline now.
Okay. This is another Bacharach and David song. He insists, and he's the boss tonight.
He thinks.
Yeah. This is the other song that I sang to Hal David. And he gave me such a wonderful compliment. So I hope you're gonna like what you hear.
Thank you for getting on the plane, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, traveling really sucks now. It really does. Oh gosh. A chair is still a chair, even when there's no one sitting there. But a chair is not a house, and a house is not a home when there's no one there to hold you tight and no one there you can kiss goodnight. A room is still a room, even when there's nothing there but glue. But a room is not a house, and a house is not a home when the two of us are far apart and one of us has a broken heart. Now and then I call your name, and suddenly your face appears. But it's just a crazy game, and when it ends in tears. Darling, have a heart. Don't let one mistake keep us apart. I'm not meant to live alone. believe me, still in love with me.
Madeline Bell. Thank you so much.
My song, well, it speaks for itself, so I hope I sing it clearly. This is how I love to spend precious time with you, my friends, in this lovely atmosphere and the love we're having here. This is what I hope you'll do. Take the memory of me home with you. Keep me in your dreams tonight. I am where I love to be, right here singing naturally. It's the big part of my life, and I always try to do it right. What I'm hoping you will do when you leave here, when the night is through, keep me in your dreams tonight. Now I'm coming to the end. Take this thought with you, my friends. I will keep you in my heart, though very soon we have to part. Let me say this, and it's true. I wish that you could take me home with you. Keep me in your dreams tonight. Thank you.
Let's hear it from Madeline Bell. Thank Thank you, Felipe, for a wonderful sound. Thanks for coming down.